one of our daughters, is that she went out on a date with her boyfriend. Things should have been rough for everybody lately, and if you listen to our previous podcast, you'll understand why. But it came down to our daughter went out with her boyfriend, and everything was going okay, and then the sushi came out that she had, and for some reason she didn't like the sushi or something happened, and at that moment is when her world just kind of crashed down, because it was like just a day of just hell. And the sushi was like the straw that broke the camel's back.
It wasn't even all that hellish per se. It was just there was so many little things that had gone
that just
wrong.
Added up. And then her boyfriend's like, and I was amazed that he said this, something along the lines like, I would rather you be you. He's like, I fell in love with you. Right. Not, someone is not there. He's like, this is what I'm here for. Yeah. Is for these moments like this. And
you want there to be a good date, but don't pretend that you're having a good, that you're feeling okay right now. It's okay to not feel okay right now.
Right. And if you're worried about we did an episode on red flags, and you need to be looking out for red flags. So that's kind of goes back to if all the exes, they say their exes were absolutely batshit insane.
Red flag.
Time to do a little digging, see where the crazy really lies. It could be that they just had a bad round of exes. That's possible.
People can be attracted to destructive people, but if that's the case, you need to take a good hard look at yourself. Because if they're attracted to you and they're only attracted to crazy people, either they're getting better really quick or you need to get cool with some stuff really quick.
Going on questions that you can, there's so many different levels of questions that you can go in with poly, because when it comes down to it, the dynamics of any kind of poly relationship is pretty dynamic to where it can be anything. It can be, just a hinge. It could be a quad. It could be just I hate the word throuple.
Oh,
I don't
what's
really
wrong with triad?
Yeah, triad. However it could be whatever.
Listeners, write into us. Thruple is becoming a word, and
can we not?
Well, that's okay. Well, you can see our opinion at this point. We kind of like triad. Write in. Do you like the word? Do you not like the word? I kind of feel like it's trying too hard. Like we're almost trying to make it into a couple. It's not.
It's like, you know what it is? Thruple is like the Bing of search engines. It's trying too hard, and it's never going to happen.
Bing.
I've used Bing to search Google.
You go in Bing, you search download Chrome. And then you download Chrome and use that.
It's all true.
And use Google as your search engine and just leave it at that. And you know what you could do? While you're on there, not using Bing, search questions for poly. Come up with questions from listening to our podcast. That's something you could do. And just search. Listen to other people's experience. Put it out there. There's so many poly groups out there. Put it out there. Say, hey, what kind of questions are good questions to ask?
And you don't always have to keep it so super serial, Yeah. Like you can ask silly questions. Like, what weird food combinations do you really like?
Yeah. Another thing.
What weird food combinations do we like? It's not that I really seek after weird food combinations, but I'm really okay with eating weird food combinations if they're presented to me.
Yeah.
That's chips on a sandwich.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
I like chips on a sandwich.
No.
No.
It's weird.
So speaking of silly questions, humor. Oh, that can be a big question, especially like with me. I have a very dark sense of humor. And it's not that I try to be offensive, because I really don't. I stay away from offensive things. However, my sense of humor tends to go into the realm of that's pretty fucked up thought, but I think it's funny.
Yeah, you should see us playing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, dear God.
It gets really
dark.
Well, we
really
already,
weird.
I think we all are pretty.
Right, which is why we kind of get along.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Like,
and if you're looking to be sponsored by somebody like, I don't know, Cards Against Humanity, because we've said it 3 times now.
But, stuff like that. Like, if you're a highly offended person, and, if you're getting offended by me saying that you might be a highly offended person, then guess what? You're probably one of those highly offended people. Oh. So, but that's another type of question you can ask, is different types of humor. If you're going to be out with somebody and they're offended by every little thing you do, guess what? It's not going to work out well.
Yeah.
At all.
Especially if they're offended by polyamory.
Yeah.
That would probably...
That might be a red flag. Kind of a hard... No, that would be a hard no.
no.
Hard no.
Are you here to rescue me from my polycule? Those were some of the questions that I wish had been asked at particular times over the course of my poly life.
Right. If you're trying to steal another polycule's partner, the other partners might have something to say about it. But yeah, and that's another thing you need to be, aware of is any kind of intimate details. You need to be an open book, again, with this radical transparency.
Okay, what's another fun question?
If you joined the circus, what would your circus act be?
Eating knives, not swallowing swords.
Right there, I thought, I honestly thought that she was using a metaphor right there, and she was literally talking, if you join our polycule, what would your role be? But no, she was literally asking, if you joined a circus, what would your act be?
Yeah.
I actually thought about this question when I was growing up. I wanted to run away to the circus.
I cannot imagine why.
Yeah, neither can I. Therapy. More stuff to bring up in therapy. That's another good question. Who's your therapist?
Are you in therapy? How often do you go to therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go. Is it on the calendar? So.
It's not on the calendar.
What
it does
calendar
not exist.
app do you use?
Oh! This is very important because the mating call of the polyamorous person is...
Let me see a calendar.
Right.
But yeah, I will
squeeze it in.
One of them that... Oh. Don't use a lot of force though.
We need scheduling lube.
I'm trying to talk here.
Would it be like permanent marker juice?
All right, I think we're done for
Except
today.
it would make a little squeak too.
I think we just have...
when you write on a paper with
this
permanent,
might be the
goes
end of the
squeak
internet right here. We have found the end of what we're going to put on the internet.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
You're
But
welcome.
I always thought I would be a trapeze artist, like a.
I wanted to be a trapeze artist.
So did I.
No.
That could be our act.
No.
Yes.
No.
And you know what's crazy is I'm scared of heights.
Are you going to be on the trapeze with us?
I'm going to be in the magic act.
He wants to make things disappear. He has this amazing sausage act.
He does. He really does.
Watch the salami disappear.
Oh, you have that same act, so.
Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
Except it's a bigger sausage. A bigger salami.
Do what?
It's a bigger salami.
Bigger in which way?
Oh.
Yes.
No.
It's not about the length, it's about the width, right?
For you, yes.
That just answered the question.
Holy shit.
right.
Okay. We got 2 trapeze artists and somebody with a magic
I don't
act.
want to be a trapeze artist anymore. I want to walk on the rings of fire.
Walk on the rings of fire?
Like you walk in them and they spin around.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Oh, I have. It's awesome. There's like 2 humongous rings. And
Oh,
they're
they
connected,
spin.
and they spin around, and then they light them on fire, and then the people jump around inside of them and shit.
I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
It's
it
called
looks
amazing.
horrifyingly dangerous.
It's awesome.
Terrifying.
That's what I would do.
That's terrifying. But you see, that's the thing. Like, I am scared of heights, and I always wanted to be a trapeze artist. I would do like crazy shit when I was growing up that would put me at weird heights because I love the feeling of being scared somehow. But going on the top of a really tall building with a shard railing, fuck that.
And so you would be a
Magician.
He said magician.
Yeah.
Are you not
That would be my
listening?
act.
I was, but in case you needed to repeat it because you had to cut a bunch of stuff out.
Oh.
And what kind of magic trick would you do?
All of them. I've always used to buy tricks, like buy magic tricks and like.
I thought it was illegal.
Buy magic tricks. Not
Oh, magic tricks.
Yeah.
I just said tricks.
Not do tricks. Well, no. I used to buy magic tricks and learn how to use them, and even when I was in sales, I had at least one magic trick on me most of the time, so that I could just entertain the children and hopefully get them to remember me, so they'd ask for me when they came back.
Aww.
Other ones, like favorite superheroes, villain or super. You see, mine, I go with the superhero / villain that grays the lines because I'm kind of just that kind of person. It's like I like say Deadpool, to where the line of good and evil is blurred. a lot.
Like poison ivy.
The omnisexual
Ooh.
Deadpool. The Deadpool guy.
The omnisexual Deadpool.
He is omnisexual. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just but Deadpool was one of those guys. Like he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's both. But yeah, stuff like that. That's kind of like the thing that I kind of venture to.
Mm.
So it goes along with my dark sense of humor because there's some fucked up stuff and that I will laugh at, and it's just like, oh my god.
See, I always like the fringe heroes, like Darkhawk and Moon Knight, and the ones that not everybody's heard of.
I was just about to ask, who the fuck is that?
If you could jump into a pool full of something, what would it be?
Jello.
Do I have to jump? Like, could I slide into the pool? just saying.
Just put a leg in to see, fill it out.
Because that sort of affects who, like what all is in there.
So I would totally jump into a pool of Jello because I just think it would feel awesome.
But like, how deep is it? You would suffocate if it was too far. You wouldn't be able to swim up.
Well, that's why I would want to do it, because I would be so curious as to how it would feel.
Can you swim in Jello?
Yeah,
no,
you can't swim in Jello.
That's the thing. These questions need to be answered, okay?
See,
and that's why I would do it.
Yeah.
How can you not swim in Jello? Isn't it extremely buoyant? Like, wouldn't it just bear you up? Like, wouldn't it be hard to dive in Jello?
And there lies the question.
I mean, you can stick your finger in Jello.
Of course you can, but that's...
Stick your finger in a lot of things.
But if your weight's all dispersed, wouldn't it be difficult to, actually fall in the Jello?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you see, it's not like a non-Newtonian fluid where the impact hardens it up. So that'd also be hilarious to see as somebody trying to dive into maybe not dive, maybe belly flop into a non-Newtonian fluid.
I'm having a nerdgasm over my husband right now.
Wow.
Do you need a towel?
Yes.
I think we both do.
Okay.
So wait, y'all didn't answer the question. I answered the question. What is yours?
Jello? Oh, okay.
I'm good with water. We know what water does when you jump into it. You can predict that you'll be able to get out of it and breathe. That's important.
Yeah. It's always one of those things where people might say some kind of alcohol. They want to jump into a tub of wine. They want to jump into a tub of beer or vodka or whiskey or something. Have you ever gotten any of those things on your soft tissues?
Anything.
We're talking about burning like you would not believe.
It burns us.
It burns
we
us
did
so
have a
bad.
friend who had a kiddie pool full of pudding. I mean, I would totally do that.
Well, that's a little different there. That's
It'd have to be sugar-free pudding.
It would have to be sugar-free pudding.
That's disgusting.
I would think that
So
there'd
you have
be certain things that sound more fun than they are, like whipped cream or honey would be odd. I don't think you could swim in either of those.
No, and then it would break down.
Yeah.
The honey would make you just
sticky.
Stick to yourself, to everything.
So you didn't answer the question though.
What would I jump into?
You're right.
I have no idea. I'm still thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
I don't even jump into water.
Yeah, because a pool might have sharks.
Right. Big great whites that hide in the pool that you can see all the way to the bottom in. Yeah.
Dun-dun,
Yes.
dun-dun.
Hungry sharks that
Pool
do that.
sharks.
Pool sharks.
Pool sharks. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
Stay tuned to the next episode when Crow might actually have an answer. So.
I don't know. I cannot imagine what I would jump into.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved the ball pit in Chuck E. Cheese.
I love the ball pit.
It would be so much fun to jump into a clean one that hadn't been used as a petri dish by every child in the face of the earth.
That is the key right there. Is this a clean one or is it an infection connection?
That's what the ball pit is in every Chuck E. Cheese everywhere, and I'm shocked that we still do this.
They don't even have a ball pit anymore. The last ones I've been to.
They probably don't because of that very reason.
Yeah.
Somebody has a peanut allergy and somebody was eating peanut butter when they...
That's not peanut butter.
Yeah, well... We need to think of these things. Anyway.
But, questions. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to is it doesn't have to be completely serious. You can have fun with questions. You can have, and you know what? Some of the weirdest questions come up with some of the answers that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know intelligence or thoughtfulness, since I'm so sapio, that if somebody's put a lot of thought into something and they really come out with an answer that surprises me, because I think about things very...
You think about things highly detailed.
Yeah, I try to really inspect every single option that there could be for an answer. And so if you come up with one and I'm surprised or impressed, that kind of like sticks with me for a long time.
Goes a long way.
Yeah. So
the important questions are, when's the last time you've been tested? How